Hello YouTube, it's William. Someone had asked me to do a video on my thoughts on lanyards. So I had to put a lanyard on this custom hog's tooth, so I thought maybe I would discuss my thoughts on lanyards. For large chopping tools, a lanyard is, let's just say, handy. That's easy for me to say. They're handy, okay? Because they give you an extra length to hold on to, okay? Now, with that said, it also creates problems. If you lose control of that blade, and again, I'm a huge advocate, and I believe that knife safety begins and most times ends with blade control. If you don't control the blade, you're going to get hurt, regardless of what you're doing. If you're carving away from yourself, toward yourself, doesn't matter. If you lose control of the blade, you're going to get hurt. Now, some people like the knife or the lanyard to where you can wrap it around your hand, and I'll show you that method here. I don't want to use it on this blade. I'll just do a loose knot on it. But basically what it is the blade is facing away from you. You stick your thumb in the lanyard, wrap it around your hand, and grab a knife. So when you lose control of the blade, it's flopping like this. The blade doesn't go flying out somewhere. But the problem is it's flopping near you. you got a sharp edge that's just flopping all around everywhere. Okay, so that's something you got to be aware of. Now, if that concerns you, don't use this method. If you like this method and you used it, and by all means, that's what you should continue to use. I'm not telling you which one to use. I'm telling you my opinion on it. Okay. So the other method is where you got it around your wrist. Okay, and everything's tightened up, and so when you lose it, it falls down off of your wrist. Again, you've got a sharp blade that's flopping around your legs, around your triangle of death, around your arm, your chest, your stomach. I don't think that that's a very safe method. That, again, is my opinion. Now, what I prefer is a very short lanyard on big choppers. On small neck knives, I don't see any point whatsoever on a lanyard unless it's on your side and you need that to help you draw the knife from its sheath. Then that's possibly a good reason for a lanyard. As far as trying to hold on a knife while it's in use, see no point in it. Now, some will say that if you use this method while you're using the knife, it keeps you from sliding up on the blade. That's true. So if you're not going to use it as a chopper and you want to just make sure that if the knife doesn't have a guard, that it keeps your hand from sliding up on the blade, then we're under severe storm warnings and tornado watches and things like that, so the door just closed. I'm okay. I'm all right. So that is a viable option. That's a very safe way of handling a knife that you're concerned about if your hand sliding up on the blade. So that's one thing to consider as well. Now, as far as chopping, not so much, I don't think. Now, on this one, I have a very short, robust lanyard. It's very thick leather, and that is so I can grab it like this with my finger, and I can use it as a chopper, like a leuku. Okay, so I have an extended blade. The weight is carried forward, and that just gives me more chopping power. Now, if I was to lose control of that, the blade is going to go flying off somewhere. Okay, so if you're in a group and you're concerned about that blade flying off somewhere and hitting someone, then you probably need to go with a different type of lanyard, or watch your surrounding area and make sure that wherever that blade may go, because if it may go, it will go. And Murphy's Law always applies to knives. If it can possibly happen, it will happen at some point. So this is what I prefer on the large choppers. And if you're really concerned about the blade, if your hands are slick, the handle's slick, you can actually put your little pinky in there and it will help you hold on to the blade. Okay? So if you do lose control of it, then more than likely the knife is just going to slide off your pinky and hit the ground or fly behind you or somewhere. Again, it's just one of those things that if you play with knives long enough, you're going to get hurt. You try to minimize the damage as much as possible. Okay? So lanyards on big choppers, they're useful, they're beneficial. Not so much on smaller knives for my use, unless you have a cross draw sheath and you're trying to use that lanyard to withdraw the knife. Then that's a possible use. Now as far as putting them around your wrist, again, if the handle is not contoured enough to where you're concerned about it, your hand sliding up on the blade, and you want to use that lanyard for that purpose, then that's probably a good purpose to use a lanyard for. But as far as chopping and swinging a knife, I don't believe in tying a knife to your person, doing that act. I think that the knife should go flying away from your body somewhere. But again, if you're in a group, make sure that the direction you're chopping, there is no one near you. Not within 100 yards of you. within sight. Because that knife blade, if it goes flying somewhere, there's no telling where it might go. Okay? So, that's my 2 cents on lanyards. I hope it got you guys to thinking, and you guys adjust those lanyards to whatever fits you. There was a lanyard that came out, I think it was LT Wright came up with a lanyard that had a split lanyard of some type that it was able to split apart. I'm not really sure all the details on it. So if you can find that video on LT Wright Knives channel, YouTube channel, then that may be an option for you as well. Okay? So I hope this answered your questions. I'm sorry I don't remember your name of who asked this, but I'm sure you'll see the video and say that's for me. Alright? I appreciate all your support, your views, your comments, your suggestions, your orders, your support in every way. We have went over 500,000 views. That is just phenomenal. I am just, well, humbled, really. I never dreamed that it would ever come near this far. So, thanks again. Until the next one, you guys get out in the woods, whittle on a stick, get in the backyard, teach a child how to whittle on a stick, pass on some of this knowledge. If you do, take plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.